All right, we have some breaking news to get to here on this Monday afternoon following the Niners' loss to the Eagles yesterday in the NFC Championship game, but it's all presented by Rhone. 20% off your order if you head to Rhone.com/chatsports with the promo code chatsports. That deal will apply for you. Make sure you check out their commuter collection. I'm wearing their commuter shirt right now. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. We appreciate them for making today's show possible. Coming your way on today's show, some breaking news on Brock Purdy's elbow injury. It is not good, as well as his future with this organization as the team's starting quarterback or maybe a backup if the Niners decide to go out in free agency and make a play for Tom Brady. NFL executives believe there's some chatter linking the Niners to Tom Brady's childhood team. And of course, we're continuing to react to another tough and heartbreaking defeat in the NFC title game for the second consecutive year for San Francisco. So this news in just moments ago from Adam Schefter, as well as all of the big NFL reporters out there. Schefter was the one who broke it first, and the indication coming out of yesterday's game was that Brock Purdy did hurt the UCL in his elbow. That is the ulnar collateral ligament, and if it gets torn and reconstructed, that's what Tommy John surgery is for baseball pitchers out there, and Ben Roethlisberger actually had that procedure a couple of years ago. Now, this injury is expected to sideline Brock Purdy for 6 months. He is seeking second medical opinions about whether he needs surgery per sources, and the 49ers are recommending surgery, but no decisions yet. As for whether or not this is going to be Tommy John surgery, Tom Pelissero with this pretty important note, and this is, of course, something that we will continue to develop over time, that Purdy suffered a complete tear of the UCL in his throwing elbow and will undergo surgery per sources. Purdy is getting second opinions, but the initial hope is that he can undergo a repair and not a total reconstruction, which is what that Tommy John injury would be. And if that is the case, and it's not Tommy John, Brock Purdy could be ready for training camp. Obviously, this is a huge loss for San Francisco. This enters new questions at the quarterback position for this organization moving forward. And for Purdy, he had played really well since replacing an injured Jimmy Garoppolo, going 7-1, helping to lead the Niners to the NFC Championship game. But going into his sophomore campaign, there were going to have to be some things that he had to work on. Now going into his second season, he's not going to be able to work on those. Instead, he's going to have to rehabilitate this elbow injury, and we're already talking about a quarterback who doesn't really have the strongest arm in the world. So what will this do to his arm strength as well as his arm accuracy? And back to that big looming question that's going to be the huge talking point for the Niners throughout this entire offseason. Because of this team being a Super Bowl contender, what is the future at quarterback given the roster is loaded, but now there are biggest questions at the biggest position in the sport? Will Purdy be ready for this season? Will he be the starter? Will Trey Lance get his job back? Will he get traded? Could Jimmy Garoppolo return to the Niners in free agency to try to improve his stock a little bit on a short-term deal, and then maybe he goes back to free agency? Or how about Tom Brady, who we're going to talk about because NFL executives believing there's chatter going on that the Niners could be interested? And what a brutal stretch it was this year for injuries at the quarterback spot for San Francisco. Now, a lot of people want to blame Kyle Shanahan for these injuries happening. For Trey Lance, he ran him too much. He broke his ankle week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks. For Jimmy Garoppolo, that injury is not on Kyle Shanahan. Garoppolo tried to extend the play, and a defender came down on him with all of his weight, and that's why he suffered that injury. In the NFC Championship game, though, on a double play action for Brock Purdy, you have Tyler Kroft trying to defend and block Hassan Reddick, who then hit Purdy on his elbow. As the ball came out, that was a fumble. Eagles able to manufacture that giveaway into points. Not ideal. And then Josh Johnson suffered that concussion because Ndamukong Suh, who can still play, by the way, as we saw yesterday, completely rocked him. So to wish Brock Purdy a speedy recovery, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video, but also at the same time, you got to wish Trey Lance a speedy recovery. You hope that Jimmy Garoppolo comes along well. Of course, Josh Johnson with that concussion. Quarterback injuries for this football team, not ideal at all. And that's why I actually say that this is one of Kyle Shanahan's most brilliant coaching coaching jobs to make it into the Final Four, despite changing the offense 3 times with 3 different quarterbacks. We're going to dive into the Tom Brady conversation and all of that buzz, which is very interesting coming up around the corner, so make sure you stay tuned for that. First, though, today's show is presented by Rhone. 20% off if you use the promo code CHATSPORTS at Rhone.com/ChatSports. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention. Rhone stepped up to the challenge. They knocked it out of the park like Barry Bonds with the Giants back in the day. Their commuter collection, the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible shirt known to man, but they also have products on top of that. Product for every occasion. In fact, Rhone helps you get ready for any occasion with the commuter collection, which offers you really comfortable dress pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone commuter collection. Mobility also is everything, and their comfortable 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy whatever life throws your way. Niners breaking news, your commute to work, or 18 holes of golf. Looking good? You feel good too. And it's easy with Rhone. It's time to feel confident without the hassle with their wrinkle release technology. Wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's that easy. Odor-free technology as well, so you won't be stinky for your friends, your coworkers, your significant others, or for those of you who you sit next to at work. So one more time, Rhone.com/ChatSports. 20% off your entire order if you use the code ChatSports. To those Tom Brady to the Niners rumors. He's been rumored to go to the Dolphins. Dolphins, according to that organization, going to move forward with Tua Tagovailoa. He might go to the Las Vegas Raiders to link back up with Josh McDaniel. But that team, are they that good of a team where he can win another Super Bowl? They're not as good as San Francisco. We know that. Mike Sando of The Athletic did discuss Tom Brady to the Niners in a recent article, saying Brady can become a free agent this offseason, of course, if he doesn't retire. The 49ers are the team that he grew up rooting for, led by a general manager in John Lynch, who competed against Brady on the field. It's going to be a natural consideration with some expectation. Brady might take a discount to finish his career with one more Super Bowl push, and it doesn't have to come at the long-term expense of Purdy either. Obviously, this was written before the injury. To the contrary, and when you have 2 young and talented rookie quarterbacks or 2 young quarterbacks on their rookie deals, if you decide to draft a quarterback or you move forward with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, obviously they're not rookies any longer, but on those rookie contracts, it does allow you to build out the rest of your roster, to put you in a spot where you can compete for a Super Bowl, which is what San Francisco has done the last 2 years, especially this year. And if you move forward, Brock Purdy's making nothing. Trey Lance isn't making all that much money, and that's why you can afford the largest cap hits on this roster. Trent Williams, $27 million cap hit in 2023. Eric Armstead, nearly $24 million. Fred Warner, $18.5. George Kittle, $18 on the nose. Nick Bosa, $17.8 without that looming contract extension. Charvarius Ward is making more than $16 million. Christian McCaffrey can get his deal restructured after this year. He checks in at $12. Trey Lance, $9.3. Deebo Samuel, $8.5. Pretty good value there. And then Kyle Juszczyk, the highest fullback contract in the history of the NFL at $6.5. So that's why it's important for some of these teams here, like the Philadelphia Eagles, like the Cincinnati Bengals, other teams in the NFL, past, current, and in the future, try to maximize having these quarterbacks on their rookie contracts. Therefore, you can afford to pay all those other players. But as soon as you have to pay a quarterback $30, $40, $50 million, it guts your roster, even with the salary cap increasing this upcoming season, and you're not able to have that level of depth that a lot of teams need to make a run at a Super Bowl. Now, this is why you subscribe to the show, because when 49ers news happens, we bring it to you faster, and our analysis goes deeper than any other channel out there. And that's a big reason why during our watch party, we surpassed 78,000 subscribers. So if you want videos and content and shows every day, even during the offseason, now that it's upon us, subscribe and lock us in. It's a bang, bang Niner game. As for what an NFL front office executive said about the Niners' plans with Trey Lance as well as Tom Brady, I think they will trade Trey Lance to Tennessee. This is coming from an NFL executive from the front office. And then they will end up with Brady, and Brady will play 1 year for his home team. Then they will have Brock Purdy as the backup. That is the chatter. They have the defense already. Brady wants to win one more, and this is right up the Niners' alley. Why does it make sense? We're going to explain that coming up here just around the corner. First, though, pick a 2023 quarterback. Who do you want to be starting for the Niners come next year, as they are once again going to have Super Bowl aspirations? Can they finally break through on that quest for 6? Are they going to do it with Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance? If you had your choice, who would you choose? Now, why Brady to the Niners makes sense. He grew up in San Mateo, just outside of the Bay Area, kind of in the Bay Area, I should say, was a huge Niner and Joe Montana fan growing up as he idolized the 49ers. He was actually at Candlestick for the catch from Joe Montana to Dwight Clark. They had mutual interest in 2020. Before Brady ended up going to Tampa Bay, there was some conversations about him maybe teaming up with the Niners, and San Francisco elected to go to Jimmy Garoppolo. This is a team that could help Brady get yet another Super Bowl, as they have a great supporting cast, and this defense will still be elite, and the semblance of weapons could be some of the best that Tom Brady has ever had in his future Hall of Fame career. As for the player that he still is, I do believe that Brady can still play. There were some moments this year when he didn't look good against the Dallas Cowboys. He looked old, but think about what he had to deal with. The divorce from Giselle, the coaching turnover. The Buccaneers had fired Byron Leftwich. Clearly, Brady wasn't seeing eye to eye. They had the worst rushing offense in the league. They lost multiple starters along that offensive line. When he did make a couple of good throws, his receivers dropped some balls. And the Cowboys had a really good defense, as we saw against the Niners in the divisional round. And Brady still had a pretty solid year. He completed 67% of his passes, nearly 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns to 9 picks. And I think Brady can still play. I just think it became clear that the Buccaneers were just a bad football team. I mean, they got dump trucked by San Francisco. They got crushed by Dallas. And that's a team that all year long couldn't find its footing. They didn't seem to have much confidence as an offensive or defensive unit. And they just looked lost. They looked sloppy. And that's why Todd Bowles basically cleaned house of that entire coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball. Also within this conversation, with Purdy getting injured and Tom Brady maybe signing with the Niners, you can't forget about Trey Lance. Trey Lance has a lot of talent. Trey Lance has a lot of ability. Trey Lance can do some special things on the football field. What he needs is experience, and he hasn't had it because Jimmy Garoppolo beat him out last year and because he was really young, and then this year he was the starting quarterback. Then he gets hurt in week 2 because Kyle Shanahan was running way too many quarterback runs for him. As for the Trey Lance worries moving forward, I believe in the player. He's 6'4", 225. He has a really strong arm. Can he distribute the football accurately, consistently, like Brock Purdy? That's a little bit of a concern. So, too, are the injuries. The 21 starts since 2019, so the experience isn't there at all. For instance, Brock Purdy still had 48 career college games at Iowa State. And at North Dakota State, Trey Lance only played 1 game. It's also the FCS level. He has 4 NFL starts, and accuracy mechanics do remain a little bit of a concern for the former number 3 overall pick. But my goodness, it's going to be a quarterback controversy type of offseason. Get ready for it, because we're going to be talking about it, because it's the most important position, and the Niners have questions there after the injury to Brock Purdy. So one more time, let's pose this question. Pick a quarterback next year to be your starter on the quest for 6. Let us know. Appreciate all of you who tuned into our watch party yesterday. Set some more records with views with 240,000 plus, and you can rely on me, the 49ers Report, to give you the best coverage throughout this offseason.